The day Ebuka left his village for the University of Lagos, half the villagers followed him to the motor park like he was going to the moon. He was the first child from their town to go to Lagos, so it was a big deal. His mother was crying and laughing at the same time. She stuffed his bag with homemade food, garri, dried fish, yam. Ebuka, she said, hugging him, "No go Lagos, go join bad gang o. Remember the son of who you are." His father hugged him tightly and said, "Study well, my pikin. No carry last for Lagos. And remember, no matter how far river water go, you no fit forget im source. In other words, never forget where you come from." Ebuka nodded. Aunties and uncles came with their advice too, about avoiding bad gangs and keeping his eyes open. Lagos no be play, they said. After 1,000 hugs and a bucket of happy tears, Ebuka finally climbed onto the noisy bus. As he rode away on the dusty road, he watched his family from a far view. He was excited and a little bit scared. In his head, he thought city life would be like a Hollywood film, easy and glamorous. Well, reality had other plans. See him say wahala. The village boy was about to go to school in Lagos. Stepping foot in Lagos was like entering another planet. At the bustling Ojota Motor Park, dozens of voices shouted, "Ojo Eleba, Yaba, CMS." He clutched his bag nervously. Now wow. A bus conductor tried to drag him into his downfall before he said he's going to Unilag. And then he pointed the right bus for him to enter. Welcome to Lagos, he thought, where wahala no dey finish. When he reached the university campus, he was shocked. The front gate was larger than his village church. Students bustled about, speaking English, pidgin, and slang he hasn't heard. He felt like a JJC, Johnny Just Come. His hostel was on the front floor. When he reached his room, he met his roommate, Tunde. Tunde was a true Lagos breed, confident, fast-talking and welcoming. "How far, my guy?" he greeted. "You must be Ebuka." Then he helped him to carry his bag. Ebuka laughed and said, "I do. Your mama really stock you up," Tunde said, as he brought out a sack of garri. "Hope you plan share because this hostel food no reach at all." Then they both smiled. The next morning, Ebuka woke up late, and then he found the communal bathroom completely dry. Water had finished. He had to manage a quick bucket bath from the small stash, then sprint to class, still smelling like his mom medicated soup. In lectures, he struggled to keep up with professors who spoke Queen's English at jet speed. His classmates seemed so polished. One girl talked about her summer in London. Another guy was arguing politics in jargon he barely understood. He mostly kept his head down, afraid to say something uncool or worse, mispronounce a big word, and get laughed at. Despite a few hiccups, Ebuka gradually found his footing. Tunde became his personal guide to Lagos. He took him to explore beyond campus, From the crowded Yaba market where he learned to haggle last price like a pro, to Afrobeat concerts at Freedom Park. The first time he crossed a busy road by himself was in Lagos, dodging Okada and weaving through honking cars. He felt like he earned a PhD in smart street. Little by little, the village boy was morphing into a city boy. Still, he was careful not to talk too much about home. When his friend gisted about fancy secondary schools or childhood vacation abroad, he just smiled and listened. He enjoyed their stories but offered few of his own. Part of him still worried they think he was too bush if he talked about chasing goats or fetching water from the stream. One night, as Tunde and Ebuka munched on garri and groundnut, Tunde said, "Ebuka, you know you talk about your village at all. Relax, nobody here will bite you." Ebuka laughed it off and said, "No mind me." But his words struck. Maybe he was the only one still judging his background. A few weeks later, on a Saturday morning, Ebuka's phone rang. It was his mother. "Ebuka, I don reach Lagos o. I dey come your campus now, with plenty things." Ebuka almost fell out of bed. "Mama, today," he hailed. But she had already hung up. His heart went into overdrive. He threw on some clothes and practically flew out the hostel, tugging a very confused Tunde along for moral support. He hadn't even reached the gate when he heard, "Ebuka, Ebuka." His mother's voice could overpower any loudspeaker. He turned to the corner and she was there, marching straight onto campus. She balanced a huge basket on her head and clutched a live chicken in one hand, calling his name like he was still in their village. He wanted to disappear, but he mustered a grin and waved nervously. "Mama, over here." And in seconds she was in front of him. She thrust the chicken into his arms and swept him into a suffocating hug. Laughter and arms echoed around them. "Mama, easy, I dey breathe," Ebuka said. She finally released him and said, "See my fine pikin o, you don talk well. But why you think like this? Lagos no dey give you better food." Everybody started chuckling. Ebuka braced for teasing, but surprisingly, none came. People were clearly enjoying the show in a friendly way. One bystander even gave him a thumbs up, saying his mom is cool. In no time, Mama Ebuka turned the hostel into a banquet hall. She cracked an open cooler and dished out steaming jollof rice, egusi soup, plantain and more. The aroma wafted through the corridors, and students started bringing their plates in hand. They didn't mind, there was more than enough to go around, and Mama welcomed everybody. Come chop, come chop." Ebuka watched in amazement as the city friends devoured his mother's cooking with delight. As they ate, Mama entertained them with colorful stories about him. "This my son, when he was small, he used to carry our goat like baby." Ebuka wanted to hide under a chair, but everyone was laughing so hard, and he couldn't help but laugh along. His two worlds had collided spectacularly, and it was actually fun. Eventually, it was time for Mama to head home. She gave Ebuka one last hug and some cash for pocket money. then fussed over his hair in front of his friend. Make sure you read your book oh, no join bad gang, and remember God always. Yes ma, Ebuka replied, heart full. With that, she waved the crowd and made her exit. You see, Tunde said, elbowing him, nothing to worry about. Your mama na superstar. And he was right. Instead of ridicule, he got respect and plenty new friends. He realized his fear has totally been unnecessary. Sharing his village side with his city friends didn't chase them away, but brought them closer. In fact, he thinks he became a sort of campus celebrity that day, the guy with the coolest mom and tastiest jollof rice in town. During the next holiday, Ebuka took Tunde and a couple of friends to his village, and they loved it. In time, he realized he didn't have to choose between being a village boy and a city boy. He could be both, and that was perfectly fine. Never be ashamed of your roots. Where you come from is always a huge part of who you are. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.